everybody! Welcome to Storytime from the Hoover Public Library. Except it's not from the Hoover Public Library. You are actually here in my library. You get to visit Miss Christine's library today, so welcome. Today I'm so excited to bring a really fun story to you guys. I'm going to tell you the story of Caps for Sale. Before we start, a couple things. The first is that this story is about someone called a peddler. Now, a peddler sells things. So when I talk about the man who's a peddler, you'll know that that's just another word for someone who sells things. The second thing you need to know is that there might be a few monkeys in my house. Just maybe. So you're going to have to see if you can see or hear any monkeys when I'm telling this story, okay? The third thing is that these monkeys in this story make kind of a funny noise. What does a monkey normally say? Oh, I think you're right. I think normally we think of monkeys as saying, ooh, 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 ah, ah, ah. But the monkeys in this story make a different noise. They say, zzz, zzz, zzz. Can you guys make that noise? You try. Here we go. Let's do it together. Zzz, zzz, zzz. Kind of makes your mouth tickle a little bit, huh? Okay, so as I'm telling this story, when the monkeys make noises, I want you guys to make the noises with me. When the monkeys do things with their arms or their legs, I want you guys to pretend to do it too, okay? That way you're helping me tell the story, even though we're not together in the Hoover Public Library. So here we go. This is the story of Caps for Sale. Once there was a peddler who sold caps. He would walk around with his stack of caps all up on top of his head. This was the easiest way for him to carry his caps. He had to put them on correctly so they would stay. He would walk up the street and down the street. He would walk around the block and through the park. And all along the way, he would say this: caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. And people would buy his caps from him. Well, one day, the peddler was walking through the city, up the street and down the street, around the block, through the park, and he would see people all around, and he would call, caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. But that day, no one was buying caps from him. Huh, thought the man, maybe I should try a different spot. So the peddler decided to walk out into the country. He walked, and 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 he just got really tired because everything was far away in the country, and he was yelling, caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap, and he was getting so tired, and no one was buying his caps. Well, thought the peddler, I think I need to take a little nap, and then I can walk back to the city, and maybe people will buy my caps. So the peddler found a nice tall tree. He settled in, and he stretched, and he yawned, and he decided, oh, a little snooze would be a great idea. Oh my goodness, the peddler thought when he woke up. That was a lovely little nap. I'll just be on my way to sell my... Oh my goodness. The peddler noticed that the only cap on his head was the one black and white checkered cap. Where did all of his caps go? The peddler looked this way and that way. He looked under his feet. He looked behind him against the tree, and his caps were nowhere. Where could they have gone? The peddler had one more thought. He looked up, and there in the tree were monkeys, and these monkeys were wearing his caps. The peddler looked at the monkeys and he said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But do you know what the monkeys did? They each shook a fist at the peddler and they said, well, that didn't work. So the peddler decided to shake both fists at the monkeys and he said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys shook both of their fists at the peddler and they said, well, the peddler was getting very, very frustrated at this point. He picked up one foot and he stomped it and he said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys each picked up one of their feet and stomped it and said, now the peddler was getting very angry indeed. He picked up both of his feet and he stamped them and he said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stomped both of their feet like this and they said, the man had had enough. He picked the black and white hat off of his head and he threw it down and started to stomp away. But do you know what the monkeys did? The monkeys threw their hats on the ground too. The peddler took a deep breath and he started to pick up the hats. One by one, he stacked them back on top of his head, just like they were before. He took a deep breath and he started to walk back to the city, calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." And that is the story of Caps for Sale. Thank you guys for listening to that story. Did you catch any silly monkeys helping me tell that story? I bet you did. Okay, so I'm sure you saw my cat also trying to be a part of this story. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to teach you guys a hat song, okay? So this is a silly song. It's really fun to do with all ages. If you've got some older kids, it's really fun to try and sing it really, really fast. But I'm going to teach it to you guys right now, okay? So this song has some motions. I'm going to teach you the motions first, and then I'll teach you the words. So anytime we say the word my, you take your thumb like this, and you point it at your chest. And that's the word my, okay? Anytime we say the word hat, you pretend like you're putting a hat on your head, okay? So we've got my hat. All right, and then you've got to say the number 3. And when you say 3, you use your 3 fingers, just like that. And the last motion is for the word corners. You're going to point to your elbow, because your elbow kind of makes a corner, doesn't it? So this is for the word corners. So here's the motions again. My hat, 3 corners. So this is the song, My Hat, It Has 3 Corners. I'm going to sing it once, and then we'll sing it again, and you guys are going to join in with me, and then I'll teach you the silly part of this song, okay? Here we go. My hat, it has 3 corners. 3 corners has my hat. And had it not 3 corners, it would not be my hat. Okay, you guys got it? And I want you to sing it with me, okay? My hat, it has 3 corners. 3 corners has my hat. And had it not 3 corners, It would not be my hat. I think you got it. Okay, so here's where it gets a little crazy. So now we're going to start taking away words out of the song. Now that you know the words, we're going to take some words away. So we're going to start with taking away the word hat. And instead of saying hat, you have to sing okay? So it's going to sound like this. My it has 3 corners. 3 corners has my and had it not 3 corners, it would not be my Did you guys get it? Let's try that one more time and then we'll start taking out other words, okay? Here we go. My it has 3 corners. 3 corners has my and had it not 3 corners, it would not be my Okay, it's kind of tricky, but it's going to get a lot harder now. So let's try taking away the word 3. Okay, here we go. My it has corners. Corners has my and had it not corners, it would not be my Takes a little bit of brain power, doesn't it? You got to think really hard. Let's try taking away the word my. Okay, so now we're singing when we say my hat and 3, right? Okay, let's try it. It has corners. Corners has and had it not corners, it would not be That's really hard to do. Let's make it a little bit harder. And just remember, when you do this by yourself without me, you can also try singing it faster when you take away the words too, okay? So now let's take away the word corners. So we're not going to say the words my, hat, 3, or corners. You're going to say instead, okay? Here we go. I think we can do it. All right. It has has and had it not it would not be Whew. That was really tricky, but you guys did a great job. So thank you for joining me today for both Caps for Sale and the song My Hat It Has 3 Corners. And make sure you stay tuned to the HPL Kids Facebook page for another story time later this afternoon. Bye guys.